Did Insidious 5 deserve a 42% on Rotten Tomatoes? I'm going to watch the movie and then give my opinion. I'm back, and here are my thoughts. Insidious 5 is the final chapter in the Insidious franchise, and it follows the Lambert family after the events of Insidious 2, and even brings back the OG cast members. The movie starts with both Josh, the dad, and Dalton, the son's memories being suppressed, and what was supposed to help the family ends up tearing it apart. Their traumatic memories unlock a red door that leads these terrifying demons back into their lives. Okay, so to be honest, this movie feels a lot more like an indie father-son drama than it does a horror movie. As we see Dalton, who is now a brooding 18-year-old and despises his dad, and the film spends most of the time trying to repair that family bond. The writers spend so much time building these characters up, it almost takes 30 to 45 minutes for the first real scare to appear on the screen, which is fine, but personally, I want to be scared thoroughly and quickly. The scares in this movie were alright, and the demons didn't really have personality in this movie. It was like they were there and then they were gone quickly. Though when they were there, the atmosphere of the movie felt like they were there. You know, the music, the tension building, it all worked in most places, if not all. Something that stood out to me is the movie had a lot of humor in it. Like at some point, this felt more like a comedy than a horror movie, which helped and hurt the movie because it gives you a break from the terror and the dullness that is the father-son relationship, but it hurts the movie because I don't really want to take it seriously as I probably should. The acting was passable though. There was one moment when Dalton is on the phone with his little brother that made me cringe in my seat. The acting and the dialogue were just so off in that moment, it pulled me out of the movie. The directing was great. I have to give a nod to Patrick Wilson for directing and starring as a lead in this movie. I can't imagine having to direct and act at the same time. The only problem I had was some points the movie was like really dark and I could like barely see anything on screen. It made me want to pull out my phone and scroll on Twitter. And no, not because I'm afraid of the dark and still sleep with the nightlight on, okay? Overall, it was a decent film. Did it deserve a 42% on Rotten Tomatoes? I don't think so. It ties up the franchise pretty satisfactory, and the act satisfactory. It tied up the franchise pretty well. And the actors worked with what they were given. You know, I'm going to give Insidious 5 a 6.5 out of 10. It's better than a 42%. That's all for me. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.